to join us. Okay, so we'll get started. So does everyone have the agenda and the minutes from
Yes.
the last meeting? Okay, so that's good. So words of encouragement, we'll let her, as I say, if she is able to join us, she can give us her words of encouragement, at a later time. So I'm gonna put a motion on the floor to accept the minutes and the agenda, the minutes of what was that? September 7th, and the agenda for today, to accept those two items on the agenda.
I second the motion.
Okay, thank you. Okay. And since we know it's already three of us, we've introduced ourselves many times already. The only person I see on here is Alexandra Cameron. Alexander, you're joining us. We would like to know who you are, see if we are able to, do video, and just to introduce yourself and let us know, who you are. Alexandra? Khalid?
Yes.
Do you know, is Alexandra?
No, I'm not familiar. I'll ask to unmute, but I do not know her prior to this.
Yeah, because I ask allowing her to introduce herself. But I don't hear any feedback. Okay, so we'll go ahead with the roll call. We know that it's Rod, Debbie, and Teresa on here at this time. So the following new business for discussion is about infrastructure, drainage, system capacity, which is being exceeded. And how are we going to advocate on behalf of our community? Because I mean, when it's fire and when it's water, it's a serious issue to me. And there's been a lot of that. And I think that on behalf of our community, if nothing else, we need to at least talk about this to find out, as much information as we can, and to at least get a sense as to what areas are being, affected as opposed to others. It's important that we know these things, so that, we can at least let, whether it's DP or whomever, know that, we need to know what are the plans for these areas. If they should already know, what areas are affected as opposed to others, I would say, that's something that they should already, know about. So it would be good for, as a community board, to know, so that, I mean, we can, provide information to our community residents, and have that information available if anyone should call. I know Mr. Herbert mentioned, or at least send some information to the community board pertaining to stormwater, and I would, love to have him, speak a little on that, to get a sense as to how much information he has that, we can, that he can share with us. So I'm gonna, allow him to do so now.
Hey, very
yeah.
good. Okay, so before I start, I'll reach
Yes.
out. Alexandra, are you there? Oh,
Yeah,
Alexandra,
Alexandra is eating her dinner.
she's probably eating her dinner. Okay.
Well, I don't know.
Gonzalez is joining.
Oh, Reverend Gonzalez. Okay, so before you start, let's have our bishop. Hello, are you there?
She's connecting.
Okay.
Yep,
Hello
sure.
there, how are you? Do you hear us? Are you there? Bishop?
She's there, but her audio isn't connected.
Oh, okay. I think she's trying to figure it out now.
So she can't hear us and we can't hear her.
Right.
That's different.
Khalid, maybe you can give her a call and see,
Okay, will do. Just a
because it
moment.
seems as though, yeah, seems as though she's walking around trying to figure out something. I see her phone in her hand, and
She's getting comfortable.
so she might be trying to get herself organized. She probably just came in, maybe. Yeah.
Yes. All right. So just very lightly until the bishop gets all together. Once I've been reviewing some of the items on the DEP website and just doing a general web search with regards to what is the city doing as far as stormwater management overall throughout the 5 boroughs. Right, so I did come across their 10-year stormwater resiliency plan. And when you take a look at it, it's a very comprehensive plan. They've tied together with a couple of engineering firms, one of them EP Engineering, I'm familiar with them. And they did a number of hydraulic calculations, right? Determining where the most vulnerable stormwater points in the city are. And they've came up with some recommendations for the city to implement. Excuse me 1 second, just want to get rid of this here. All right, so they came up with some recommendations for the city to implement. And I have seen the city start to implement some of those, right? And I'll go through those in a minute. I'm just trying to see if the bishop is ready.
That sounds as though it sounds like the same report that I was reading.
So yeah, it's an old report.
Yeah,
It was written in 2021.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
right. And I
Yeah,
was looking
okay,
for
good.
yeah, and I was looking for any updates to that report. And
No,
the
there
reason
wasn't any. Yeah,
no, okay.
no, because I looked. Yeah.
So I do see that as I'm going around, I do see that there are there's work that is being done right now throughout Brooklyn. I do see what's being installed are stormwater retention vaults in order to increase the capacity of the existing storm sewer. Right? And also there are a couple of pilot projects that they're talking about in order to make those retention basins, or they call them cloud burst resiliency basins. In other words, in certain areas where they have flash flooding and where the whole neighborhood is just inundated with water, they're looking to make a larger basin. So they're looking to take a lot of the athletic fields, athletic courts, like tennis courts and basketball courts, and dig them up, and underneath them, put those retention basins there.
Exactly. Yeah.
And put the and then resurface the ground for playgrounds and whatnot. And I think that would be a great idea for around here for Wingate High School, the soccer field. Just dig it all up, put it all down, and then resurface. But I think though, after reading this, got halfway through this and looking at other things, I think one of the things that'd be very interesting is to determine where are they in this 10-year resiliency plan.
Correct.
Okay, so right now they're 3 years in, going on 3 years in, and I did one of the town hall meetings that Mr. Cunningham had, Assemblyman Cunningham. We did get a contact from the DEP. He was a maintenance supervisor, and perhaps he can put us in touch with someone who can just give an update on the plan. Since I can't find one, and you yourself took a look, you can't find one. I think that we should find out where they are. I did see that there were some things that were implemented.
Yes.
back in 2021 and 22. But I mean, they're talking about spending a lot of money, close to $8 billion
Yeah.
in capital funding in order to improve the system. So I do see that some of that is being done right now. And the thing is I would like to know, strategically, as they're putting in these stormwater basins or stormwater vaults around, what are the key points? How is it being selected for each and every one of those locations? How do they know how many to install? I see multiple units at some locations, single units at others, and I would like to get an idea of how they are pinpointing the locations in order to determine that these stormwater vaults are to be located here. And also the overall capacity. And what is it that they are expecting as far as the overall, I guess, increased capacity towards the system in those certain areas. So my next step is to reach out to the contact that I made and see if we can get a presentation going with regards
So
to
this
an
is a
update.
DEP contact?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, so yeah, so maybe we can have them do a presentation in terms of,
Mhm.
yeah, that would be good.
Hi,
Okay.
Debbie. Good evening.
Hello, good evening. How are you?
I am well. I'm not going to complain.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for not complaining. So, Mr. Herbert, do you have any additional information or you just,
So no, there's no additional information other than what's in the report, what my
Okay.
observations were. Other than
okay,
that, no additional information.
okay, so the plan here is to see if we can get someone to come and provide us with additional information on the who, what, when, why, how, and all those things from DEP. Okay. Bishop, we were waiting for you to give us your any words of
Yes.
encouragement. We noticed that you were trying to get organized, so we tried holding out, but then Mr. Herbert was about to do his presentation. And so we said we'd go ahead with that, and then when you come on, you can do your words of encouragement. So we are going to allow you to do so right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Debbie, and to all other members that are on, we are just in a trying time of our human family.
Mm.
And, it's just one thing that you have done throughout the years that I've known you, and each segment of the community board that we're on, you've always asked for prayer. And if there's ever a time that we need prayer, the time is now. So many of our human family are being slaughtered under this regime that decides that terrorizing and killing God's people is how we settle our differences.
Yeah.
And tonight, I just want to lift up our Jewish brothers and sisters who are here, who have lost their loved ones, or whose loved ones have been held hostages, or whose loved ones are really suffering right now. And to ask that the God of the universe will lift all of our hearts up, because as human beings, we do feel this when babies are slaughtered and women are raped and young people are gunned down in cold blood. Debbie, it cannot be a day that God has ordained. And therefore, we are asking God to take full control of what would move forward and how we would get over this atrocity and loss of human life and the loss of human value. Thank you, oh God, for just giving us the strength to hold tight and to hold on. And only because we know that your divine presence, your divine guidance is with us in spite of all the atrocities that are taking place. For if we lose sight that there is a greater force, then we lose our ability to stay strong, to move on, and to help those that are suffering to come out of those pain. We thank God for the light, the divine light and presence that we feel even now, knowing that it could be worse. It could have been worse. It is the worst that we have seen, but it could have been worse. But somewhere, somehow, the mercies of God has kept us. Somewhere, somehow, the divine guidance of our God has protected us. Somewhere, somehow, we are able to meet face to face in a place that seems to be safer, for we do not know. The only thing we know is God is in charge, and God will take care of us. Heal our brothers and our sisters, our Jewish brothers and our sisters. Heal their wounds. Heal them. Give them the comfort that they need in a time like this. Even the women in Palestine who are not terrorists, who are suffering right now, those people too, we're asking that you bless them and guide them and direct them and protect them as they leave from one land into the other. And for Debbie, oh God, rise her up. Just give her the strength that she leads us. And for every other member, may we come together in unified body as one with respect, and help us to make sure whatever we put our hands to do will be well done for our community now and forevermore. And let all of God's people say amen.
Amen. Thank you for that word. Much needed. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna move along. I see we have a Casey Coriat. I'm gonna ask you to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Casey. I live in Brooklyn. I live like around the Rutland Road area. I usually miss the meetings when I was in school, but I just graduated. My degree is in environmental studies, policy planning, law, and I've been looking at like a couple of the meetings. I even saw the one where Mr. Herbert here like was voted to be a board member. Like I had watched it, so I've been like keeping up, but I haven't been in all of them. I've watched some of the ULIP committee meetings as well. So just environmental protection is like my degree. Also, what I'm hoping to get a master's in soon as well, and I want to get more involved in like what's going on in the community here.
Okay, well, thank you for, is this your first time at a community board meeting?
At the environmental protection ones, yes. I've been to the ULIRP ones last year.
Okay.
Like I said, I always missed them. I'm always just like rewatching them or like reading the minutes. I was reading your minutes from September and June just now.
Okay, so yeah, so we are, pretty much talking about all the rainwater that we've been getting, trying to figure out, what's happening in our community. And, thank you for joining us tonight. And if you have any input, you can share your thoughts and idea with us. I mean, we are open to that. Okay.
And
Thank you.
and congratulations, Debbie. Congratulations to her.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So we are going to move along here. Mr. Herbert made some comments, very important information, and we are going to try to have someone from DEP come out. I believe he has a contact to do a presentation to provide us with, information on, the current plans for not only the resources that is out there, but, all of the flooding and drainage issues within our community. So we look forward to having that, presentation as soon as we can, because, we don't know when the next storm is coming with all the climate change and the, all that other stuff that's going on. So we are excited.
And I'm tired of pumping out my basement.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
And I am tired of pumping out my basement.
Exactly, exactly. And, we don't want neighbors living in, houses, their houses, and, they have to be doing that all the time. I mean, what is the
Mhm.
point of purchasing a property that, you're supposed to feel comfortable in and not have to deal with, all this stormwater and, there's no resolution. There has to be something, so that these, home residents and owners can, feel safe in their homes.
Absolutely.
I mean, water is one thing, but then when you have all the mold and all these things, it's not healthy. So,
Absolutely.
we need to get to the bottom of this and make sure that our residents in our community, not just our community, but the other communities out there, because I'm sure, there are other communities that, are having the same issues and but we need to get to the bottom of this to make sure that the resources are, being used in our community as well. So, look forward to getting more information and, putting more information out there to community residents as we get it. So next on the agenda, we have the other thing that I noticed was the water ponding. I guess for me, what I notice is whenever they pave the streets, the drains are elsewhere, and I don't think that they take into consideration the fact that the water, if it doesn't have anywhere to go, it sits there. And with, all the mosquitoes and all these things, I mean, it doesn't make it any better because you have that water there. And if, a resident doesn't take a broom and go there and sweep it so that it gets to the nearest drain, it just sits there and pond. And then another batch of rain will come or snow and it sits there again. There are certain areas that this happens all the time. So, those are some of the things that we need to bring up to I believe it could be Department of Transportation. So that the next time they are paving, any street or, they can pay attention to those things because it's important that the water goes somewhere. If it has nowhere to go, it's going to sit there. And so that's another thing that I've noticed in my commune, in my block and other areas as I walk. So, it would be good if people can kind of look out for those things and, provide the information to the community board so they have an idea as to what areas are being affected by, the water ponding.
So if I may,
Also,
if I may, Debbie, just on that note, if there's
yes,
any water ponding, especially from a newly paved street, the DOT should be contacted.
right.
Because there is a quality control unit that does go out, and they in turn would get back to the contractor, and he would have to make necessary repairs as per his contract for that
Oh,
street.
okay. Yeah, I figured it had to be DOT or,
Mhm.
yeah. Okay, so yeah, so we can always provide the community board with the location and at the Bar Service Cabinet meeting that Dante can provide them with that information. I usually send to, an email to him, with the locations and so that, he can provide that information at the service meeting. And the other thing that I notice is the crosswalks. A lot of them, I don't know when you're crossing from one side of the street to the other, there's always pond in there as well. The corners of Nostrand Avenue by the subway, the SBS location, there's always, I mean, ponding over in that area as well. So, I mean, I mentioned that to Dante. I didn't get any feedback on the list that I sent him after the last meeting, but I need to follow up on that as well. So things like that, we need to keep track of so that, at least we do have, we are providing community board with that information so that, when they have the service meeting, they can provide that information to them. There's also a light on Sterling Street. The tree that was covering that light needed to be pruned. So I personally, I write to the commissioner. I don't wait for, I write to the commissioner. I said, look, when I'm walking the street or when the residents are walking the street, it's dark at night, this light is embedded. The tree is all over the light. You can't see anything. Now the light is out. They came, they pruned. However, the light is still out. So I need to follow up with Dante because I provided him with that information as well. And Khalid, if you can remind him, that would be helpful too. But the light
Will do.
outside of 272 is still out. I'm not sure what, I know one was waiting for the other. So now that the pruning took place, I'm not sure what's the holdup now. So if you can, provide him with that and see what he has to say, that would be helpful.
Will do.
So the other thing is, I'm not sure if anyone else has any recommendation in terms of what we can do or what we would like to see happen with all the flooding we've been receiving and all any other issues pertaining to that. Recommendations that we might be able to make to, Mr. Herbert did mention, getting someone to come and do a presentation. So maybe we can get some recommendations together once this presentation happens, based on the information that we get that relates to our community, so that we can provide them with our recommendations. I don't know how people feel about that, but I think that that's a good idea. At least if we get the information, then we have information that we can provide that individual or individuals with that we would like to see happen or to get resolved based on what we see happening with the storm waters and the all the other issues that's going on with that. I see Corey has his hand up.
Yeah, hi. I was just
Her
gonna
hand
ask,
up rather. I'm sorry.
do you
Yeah,
think
go ahead.
would it be helpful for us to also provide pictures of these areas as like
Absolutely. I
additional
always say take
presentation?
pictures. Yep.
Okay.
And yeah, take pictures. That's what I do. Take pictures and I make my little notes and I send it off to community board.
Okay, so we're sending it to the community board email.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Thank you. So does anyone else have any input on, what
Debbie, I
just-
wanted to ask if
Yeah.
the board received any information from the transit authority, because we had no number 2, no number 3, no number 4, and no number 5 on that day that it rained. They had to bring in the machinery to pump water out.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm just wondering if, the board contacted to find out, or did they just let us know what really took place that day? We know it was raining, but everything was shut down.
Yes.
That's dangerous.
Yeah. Khalid? Khalid? Khalid, are you there?
He might have stepped away for a minute. He was just there.
Okay. Yeah, I'd have to, ask him about that because I didn't hear anything. And that would be good to know as well because
Right,
You
because
know-
that would be affecting all the homes
yes,
and even for transportation purposes.
absolutely. A lot of people couldn't get home.
Right,
You
right.
you have people working in the Bronx and all these places, there was no way and trying to get from on the how you call it, in Manhattan there to get, it was like bumper to bumper traffic.
Yes,
So
yes,
yeah, that
yes.
was a nightmare. And So that would be good. Khalid?
Was the sorry, was the question she was asking like what is the larger issue? I don't know if Mr. Herbert was gonna say this, but I know that just like in Brooklyn in general, we do have a large issue with like our entire piping system. So we get combined sewage overflow, which is what a lot of the flooding that happened was due to that old larger infrastructure. So there's part of that is like super large issue because what can we do about it aside from helping the drainage? But a lot of that is due to that CSO overflow.
Well,
But
I
Debbie,
think, yeah, go ahead.
sorry, Debbie, do you remember a couple of years ago when Eastern Parkway, all along Eastern Parkway, they dug up the street and put those huge pipes?
Yes,
So it's kind of mind-boggling to me that that part of the infrastructure was done, and yet we saw this that happened a week and a half ago.
right. And not only that, they did Nostrand Avenue, they did
Yes.
some areas here, yeah, in this area here.
So what happened?
So, you know, that's why we're trying to get an idea as to what's going on. So hopefully
Yeah.
we can get someone from DEP to do a presentation and we can bring up some of those questions, because I remember when, you know, they had all this area blocked off and they were installing those big pipes in there.
Exactly.
So yeah, I remember those, you know, that
Eh,
not too long ago, as a
Yeah.
matter of fact. Yep, I think that was somewhere, was it after Sandy?
It was
Sandy?
before Sandy.
It was before Sandy, so that
Yeah,
had to be in 20,
14, 15.
somewhere around there, yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
because we were saying every morning that we would go out, we would talk about the inconvenience. But there were
yes,
huge pipes that were being put on the ground.
yeah, because they
And-
had them laid out and, you know,
Exactly.
on, yeah, in the area.
Yes.
Yep,
So
I remember
what-
that.
What happened? So maybe that's one of the things that we would like the DEP to let us know.
Yeah, so we definitely, Mr. Herbert, I see your hand up.
No, so I didn't quite understand what the bishop was saying was, I guess the question. With regards to the unavailability of the subways, we want to know what happened with the subway system in particular, or we want to know what happened with the DEP action that took place.
What happened with the DEP action that took place, basically because all of the infrastructure, I hear what you were saying, a part of it, was done. A great portion of it was done before, many years ago, when they're putting those big pipes. So I'm not sure what is going on now. Why we had such a devastating experience for people trying to go to work and even people trying to get home.
Well, based on the research that I've done on this same project that Mr. Herbert spoke about, the capacity of rain that we received, our system cannot manage,
You're at no
cannot
system.
control.
No system.
So it means that, you know, as he mentioned, they were talking about in that same project that that they're planning to do. I don't know how many years it's gonna take. They were talking about doing, doing something underground as well as above ground to contain that water. I don't know what it is yet, but based on the engineers that gave their input as to what can be done, I think they're still trying to figure out all those things, but they were talking about, like Mr. Herbert mentioned, allowing the water to going to like some of the parks, they were saying that would be a part of it, so that some of the water would be retained there, and other areas, they would try to do some of that. Now if they're saying that we can retain like 1.7 or something and we are getting like over 2, I'm not sure what's gonna happen with that, if we get that again. But apparently they have something laid out. I don't know how fully etched or fully, complete it is, but I think that there's still a lot of work to be done, because if you're saying that, and the water that I saw coming down, I mean, it was the storm that we had before this one here, it was worse. And that was a lot more water. So if they're saying this one, it cannot contain that, the one before that was worse. So, there's definitely something that has to be done. And it would be good to get someone from, DEP, Environmental Protection, to come out and, answer some of the questions that we have. So at least we have an understanding as to, what is going on. So.
Debbie, does the board know how many people basements were flooded? Did anybody
all of
call
those
in?
things would be good to find out. So that
Okay.
way, at least we have an idea, as to, I'm not sure how many people call the board office,
Right.
but those, numbers are very good to have. Khalid,
Yes.
hi.
Hi.
Um,
Hello. Yeah.
we were calling you before,
Yeah. I had to
did
step
you
away for a
step
second.
away? Yeah. So did the board office get a lot of calls from the rain that we received, 2 weeks
No,
ago?
not
Flooding?
not really. We didn't really get
No?
calls on flooding, but I'm thinking, maybe a survey could be done, sent out to community for these cases so that, we can know these areas and
So
work
maybe,
with
maybe we
those
can do like a
agencies.
card, or
Yeah.
Yeah,
like a
but if any
card.
of your neighbors know of any flooding within their areas where they live in the district, please let them reach out to the board office.
So maybe we can do a card blitz and get feedback, or maybe, some link where people can, for those that can do that, and for the ones that can't, if they can, return the cards, it will be good to know. So I guess that's something that we can probably make a recommendation on, to get a sense as to, since you said nobody called, I'm surprised that but if nobody called,
I
it
didn't get
means
I
that,
didn't get any calls, just saying, but maybe Dante
yeah,
or Mia have got calls. So I'm not saying there wasn't any calls.
okay,
Maybe there, yeah. So I have to find out once I speak with them tomorrow.
okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure who had their hands up first. I see Coriat and I see Tara. So I'm going to allow one and then the other to make your comments.
Tara can go. It goes in order of who put their hand up first.
Okay. So go ahead, Tara.
Thank you. I just want to make the comment that there is a map and available to see where like the water drains and the rain gardens and all that has been put in available to us. We did that before at EP, before Debbie was chair. So you could find that online. There is a map. The other thing is that I've noticed is that environmentally speaking, with the rain, even though there are some sewer drains more being installed, we're going backwards in a lot of ways in this district. Like the park on Washington and Empire that's been, we've talked about a lot in other committees, that park was more green space. Now it's less and nowhere for the water to drain. I don't know if you all know this, but Prospect Park Zoo is closed indefinitely
Yeah,
because
of
of
the
flooding. And
Yeah.
that same garden, the botanic, or excuse me,
Wow.
the Prospect Park, we approved of that development. There's ongoing development in that park where they're installing more concrete, more asphalt. And you could see easily that where the asphalt is above the down uphill from the zoo. It all goes directly down to the zoo that used to be all dirt, and they switched it to asphalt. So it's pretty, doesn't take a genius to figure out that all that water ran right into the zoo because there was no place for it to drain off with all the asphalt. So
Mm.
that's a big problem over there that I see. And I know the board wrote a letter to approve even more development that's going to include more concrete and asphalt in the Vale of Kashmir. And I was against that, but you know, people did vote to approve that. So I think as a direct result, we could see this disastrous effect to the zoo with the flooding. The zoo is closed down permanently. The flooding,
Wow.
I don't know if you could have seen it or the pictures, but it's awful. And this is what, and we're having more development with sewers that can't handle what we have now. I mean, we're going to have enormous amounts of rain here. We're changing to a tropical zone. That's a fact. We see it before us, and we're not preparing for it. We are a little, but really going backwards with more development is going to have the opposite effect. You know, we're supposed to be working toward, I don't know, I think maybe we should do some type of resolution to oppose asphalt and development and concrete and promote drainage and greening to prevent this. I mean, it's not shocking that it's happening. It's going to get worse. You know, it's going to get worse. And
That's true.
we have we have the cars on our block now that don't move, and they don't clean them. They don't clean underneath them for the ride programs, the car programs. And that's leaf buildup in over our grates for the cars that don't get moved.
You
What's gonna
guys don't
happen?
have
More
alternate
flooding.
side parking?
What?
You don't have alternate side parking on
We
your,
do have alternate side parking, but the new programs for the cars, it's a DOT program. We have like 4, 5, 6, I think, like just in my immediate block association area. We've talked about this in the transportation committee, but anyway, it's something there's gonna be more of those, and they don't move for alternate side. And they're supposed to clean them, but they don't. I don't see them clean them. There's leaves, you know, now that the leaves are falling.
so doesn't transportation go around providing a summons for those vehicles that don't move?
No, they're
What?
vehicles that are part of like Zipcar, Lyft. They just sit
Uh-huh.
there. They were supposed to move for a block party. They didn't,
Wow.
you know? It's just
Hmm.
like that's just one of a multitude of problems that I see with the way, you know, our district is going. And they did install a lot of those huge pipes on Empire. And I mean, you know, we didn't get flooded on our block, but we have before, you know, but we make a great effort in our neighborhood to clean out the drains beforehand, because the
Yeah.
people are also dumping concrete,
Yeah,
and concrete in the past has clogged drains. And thank you, Rod, for giving me that number, because we had concrete dumped all over our block again. And because of the number he gave me, the Department of Conservation came and made them clean it up, but it's already been dumped on the sewer, and they're doing that on Empire and Bedford as well. So at least I have a resource now.
yeah.
But that's just, you know, there's all these problems that are causing the blockage, you know. It's kind of sad sometimes. One of my neighbors is a well-known artist, Otto Niels, and he's a 90-year-old person, and he had an enormous collection of art in his basement, and much of it was destroyed, you know, because of this flooding that happened
Wow.
maybe a couple of years ago, you know. So that's one of the reasons we're so conscious about it. So, you know, some people don't have that option because the water is coming. I don't know what's going to happen at the zoo.
Yeah.
But
Well, I
that's just
guess
my
we'll,
concerns. Thank you for hearing me out.
yeah, thank you. I guess we'll have to try to find out what's going on with that, the whole zoo thing.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's not a good,
Debbie, and the
thing
zip
to hear.
cards. I
Yeah.
only found out about the zip card the other day. And who's responsible, I'm just asking, for those cars to be parked and not have to move? That is no good.
Dante, Khalid?
I can speak to, yes, Department of
Yeah, can you,
Transportation
yeah,
is
if you can
overlooks.
follow up on that, because I find that rather strange that they can park without having to move. I mean, you know, I don't get it, but,
I thought it was horrendous.
yeah. But, okay, so, Khalid will find out what's, you know, going on with those, zip cars. Coriat, did see your
Yeah.
hand up before.
So I just wanted to say, just to add on to probably why the drainage was so bad here, I also do know that like I said, even though they're putting in new pipes, it ultimately goes into a larger reservoir, and that is not prepared to take on this at all. So what our drainage
Yeah.
system currently is prepared to take on is about 1.75
Yes,
inches of water
exactly.
per hour, and we had about 2. So that's
Yes.
a bigger issue. But I also did want to suggest, to Tara's point, I also had the same point, which is just that we're going to need to have natural mitigation techniques. And so the DEP does have the rain garden program in place, and they do
The
have like
barrels?
no, rain garden. So those are the pieces of land that they patch that has rocks and trees and more dirt and natural solutions so that the rain
Yeah,
So-
that's what, yeah.
that could be something that we could push for, because it would definitely be a
Well,
big
well, that's a part of that plan that, but from what Mr. Herbert was talking about
Okay.
earlier. Yeah, so that's a part of that, because I read up on some of that as well. So, yeah, we need to, follow up on that as well, because that is, I did see that as part of the plan. So thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, so Khalid, if you can, find out about the, zip card thing. I don't think that they are above the rules that everybody else has to follow. I mean, it's mind-boggling that they can just sit there and, you know, not have to move, or, you know, and someone else would get a ticket for, you know, yeah. So, Mr. Herbert, I see your hand up.
So yes, I just wanted to follow up on Tara's point
Yeah,
with regards to vehicles that don't move. She
Mhm.
is 100% on the mark. This is a problem throughout, I know, East Flatbush in general
Yeah.
and other areas. So, and the biggest thing that we have now is these commercial vehicles, and I think I've spoke about this before.
yes, you did.
Right, they don't move. I'm up to 95 311 tickets that I put in.
Mm.
Yeah, so, and I'm doing this on purpose to make a case, later on.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's what you
my
have
goal,
to do, yeah.
yeah, my goal is to get to 250.
Oh my
And then that way there's nothing they can say because it's inexcusable. But in order to clean the streets, right? It's New York City has what's known as a best management practices plan, and it encompasses 3 things. It's the alternate side of the street parking to clean the streets, right?
Mhm.
Enforcement, and and the DC, the Department of Sanitation to clean the streets.
Right,
All 3 of these have to work in unison in order to clean the streets, prevent
yes.
the debris from clogging the catch basin drains and so forth.
Mhm.
And it does not happen.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I mean, like I said, I'm up to almost 90, just about 90 tickets.
Wow,
Okay. And I'm going to go up to 200. And then I'm just going to turn around and say, hey, this is what you have. What are you doing?
yeah,
So it is a problem, especially now that we have individuals who live in campers and they are
Mhm.
parked all over the city and they
all
don't
over, yeah.
So my goal is right now is to address the commercial vehicles. Then from there, I'm going to the buses, and then from there, I will go to the vehicles. But the commercial vehicles, I can address those because there's a law specifically from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. You cannot park a commercial vehicle in the street, and that's what I'm focusing on right now.
Have you ever
Oh.
seen Brooklyn Avenue?
Oh yes, yes. Well, those are buses. I'm not up to that. I'm not to buses yet. I'm trying to get
Okay.
trucks and tractor trailers.
Okay,
All
okay.
right, all right, but it's totally inexcusable. And what, the city has a stormwater permit. And, that permit is like, they get that from the state. The state issues it every year or every 2 years or whatever. And the thing is, the compliance portion of that permit is that best management practices plan, which is to clean the streets and with these 3 items, right? Alternate side parking, enforcement, and the Department of Sanitation. And, 2 of these items are broken, which is the alternate side that no one pays attention to. And the enforcement is just not there unless you submit 90 tickets.
Wow.
That is hilarious because normally when
Nine.
on alternate side parking here on Sterling, because it's Thursday and then Friday, the alternate side. And usually if there are cars that's parked, you'll see the sweeper come and go around the ones that's parked and keep on going, and you usually in the past you would see someone in the supervisor behind in the vehicle, checking to see, I guess what's going on. But I haven't seen that in a while, so I don't even know if that still happens,
So
Um,
one day I submitted 31 tickets in one day. I said, I'm going to make these guys. So I submitted 31 tickets. And, I'm starting to understand is that what they like to do is manage their numbers, okay? Because they're graded
Yeah.
on these tickets or have reports whatsoever. So I'm going to get somebody's attention. So I sat down my computer and I put in 31 tickets. And sure enough, a guy was out there checking all those locations. So I went to him and said, look, why do I have to do this? All right, you should be just like in the old days. I mean, I've been in the community for 57 years.
yes.
Right? It used to be taboo to leave a car in the street. And now, because there's a lack of enforcement, this is what we have. This is why we have the clogged drains. This is why we have the flooding. This is
I
why,
agree.
Tara said that the person who's the artist, his basement is flooding. And they're going out and cleaning the catch basins themselves. Right? All of this ties into the best management practices plan not being followed.
Yeah.
I
And
agree.
it's all about agencies connecting with agencies to make sure that this get done. Because I mean, if sanitation is out there and there's something that they can't handle, they need to reach out to DEP. And I don't even know if that's happening. And this is why the service cabinet meeting happens, so that things like these things are discussed at that meeting. So, it's mind-boggling how you have, residents, owners of homes having to go out there and clean up, the streets to make sure that, the drains are
The
not
drains work.
clogged and, it's
I mean,
a bit
I'll give you an example. I mean, and then I'm done. And then I'm done. All right, so there's a tractor trailer that's parked on Winthrop Street, in East 46th
Oh,
Street.
God.
Yellow tractor trailer. Right. And this, right, so he has his name on the side. So I tracked him down and I found out where he lives. He parks his tractor trailer there because he parks it on Kingsborough Psychiatric Center, and he goes home to his place in Bushwick.
Ah,
Okay, so that's his
What?
parking spot there. So right now he's getting hit with tickets. I'm out of town right now, so I can't see what's going on. But he's getting hit with tickets. It's $250 a night.
wow. Well, he
but-
must not be paying that if he must have to the company or whatever. I don't know. I
No,
mean,
the
but
thing
that's
is-
$250 a night.
Yeah. Well, the thing is
And
to hit as many tickets as we can, and then after that, there's some sort of monetary enforcement that we can do. Or whatever the
Right,
case may be.
right.
But
Wow.
the thing is that unless you put in a ticket, these commercial vehicles will not be cited by
Yeah,
enforcement.
yeah,
groups.
you have to, yeah. So, okay, so yeah. So that's a good thing to know that,
Crown
you know,
Heights
you have
has
to keep-
become a parking lot. I'm
yeah,
telling you, Brooklyn Avenue is unbelievable.
yeah. Well, there's nowhere to
Unbelievable.
park. You have all these developments going up and no parking is taken into consideration.
No, but these are big trucks.
Well, the big
Tractor
truck, they used to occupy Flatbush over there by the zoo and all that, all these places. I think they came to the community board a few years back talking about that, you know, in terms of you know, parking for the employees as opposed to these big, you know, trailers sitting up there. There was something that came to the board about that a few years back. I'm not sure what, you know, what's happening now over there, but that's, they were, you know, they were complaining about, you know, the tractor trailers sitting there for long periods of time. And even when sanitation needed to clean, they would be sitting there. So you know, it's a lot to it's a lot to you know, try to address at one time, but you know, all these things, everyone is affected by all of these things. You know, there's nowhere to park. People are sitting there. Some of the neighbors, you see them sitting in their vehicles just trying to find, you know, parking at night. You know, and you know, it's overwhelming.
It really
What-
is.
What yeah, but what do? You know, then you have the bikes, they put the bikes, you know, they take up maybe 2 parking spaces, and you know, so it's I'm not sure who's, you know, coming up with these ideas and plans, but you get up overnight and or in the morning and you head to the subway and you see a whole row of bikes just sitting there. So you know, it leads me to believe that they are more than likely trying to figure out where, you know, they can make the most money. What's the best option, whether they, you know, they can make the most money here or, you know, somewhere else. But you know, it's a bit much when you know, you people are trying to find parking and then you just take these bikes and you
And the
know,
zip cards,
yeah,
and the zip cards.
and the zip cards, yeah.
Zip card.
So yeah, so between the bikes, the zip cars, the rainwater, you know, the it's
I do have just a comment, and someone can explain to me, since this is my first like meeting where I'm actually in here.
okay,
But
go
I
ahead.
also do want to, us being the Environmental Protection Committee, want to be careful about waiving off those 2 bikes and zip cars, since those are 2 options that are being pushed because of them being environmentally friendly. I do
Yeah.
think city bikes are too close, like where I am, they're like 2 blocks away from each other, which I think is unnecessary. But
Yeah,
I do get weary because I'm also like, okay, there's too many, but we're also trying to push for them so that people are driving less, and the zip cars
yes.
are something that I really like, because I think, like, not having a car, I do think is something that like everyone has, but I don't know, it's weird trying to find a middle ground. But I also think that like even within my community, it's like very easy to admonish it off the bat without like thinking about the reasoning behind it. So I just want to make sure that we're also cognizant of the fact that they're there because they're a better environment.
Yes, and thank you for bringing that up, because that is you are correct on that one.
Yeah,
That was one,
and you know,
that was one of, yeah, the reasons for the bikes. Yeah,
it-
I'm sorry,
and you
Bishop,
know-
go ahead.
no, that's okay. When you're young like her, you can do that. But if you are 70 and you have to walk 8 blocks to get back to your house, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. I think the community really needs to pay attention to the adverse effects of what we call a better, a better way of keeping the community environmentally safe. So we can have our elders die because we want to ride more bikes and drive less cars. And I think there has to be a middle ground,
Yeah,
like Tara
balance,
is
yeah.
saying,
Mhm.
but it has to come where the elderly in the community is being a part of it. Their safety needs to be a part of that. You know, my son was going to, my grandson was going to, is football, no, it's cross-country track meet. And a bike knocked him down
Wow.
in the crosswalk.
Mm,
Knock him down. Thank God he wasn't seriously hurt. But I keep saying, why do we have these bikes? These bikes, they're not licensed. You can't, if he had broken his wrist, his foot, who would we charge? The city? And they ride these bikes like hell. They don't take care of the pedestrian. They're not conscious of the pedestrian, and especially those that can't walk that fast.
yeah.
It's really sad. I know this is not a part of our environmental discussion, Debbie, but it's something to contend with.
Yes, it is. Even the ones that deliver the food, there's an issue with them. And that's been ongoing. I know that there was a bill or something in the council. I don't know what happened with that, but I mean, quite a few people lost their lives, with these food delivery guys. And
Yes.
it's
Yes.
and we are inundated. I mean, oftentimes I'm outside and I have to tell them, look, why are you on the sidewalk? You need to be in the
Yes.
street, because they're riding on the sidewalk. And so there's a lot of things that needs to be enforced and not being enforced. And it's
we can't do it
unfortunate
all.
that it's unfortunate that people have to lose their lives and because of these things that are not taking into consideration or being enforced. I think more needs to be done, as Bloomberg used to say, do more with less.
I hope you see what's happening now.
I hope so. I'm sure that everybody sees, and those that can't see, I'm sure that they're hearing, what's going on. Mr. Herbert, I see your hand up.
So what I'm going to do,
Yes.
when I'm in I joined the safety committee meeting as well.
Okay.
The 71st precinct, Officer Barata, I believe they have him at certain meetings. I will bring up to him about the enforcement, and also I'll mention about my multiple tickets that I submitted,
Yes.
and to find out, is there an ongoing plan to address these, or are you guys going to go back to your program of ticketing vehicles that
Yeah.
basically don't move? So I'll bring that up at the safety.
So this is what, the 71st precinct? Yeah.
Yes, 71st
Okay.
precinct.
Okay.
I'll bring it up there at the safety meeting.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's good.
Mr. Herbert, you're a blessing.
Yes, he
Okay.
is.
Thank you very much.
Indeed.
Yes, he is. Thank you.
Every committee needs a Herbert on it.
Wait a
Absolutely.
minute.
Yeah.
Every committee needs one of you on it.
I agree. Yeah, we do need our community residents, and I strongly believe in involving the community in anything that has to do with safety, environment, whatever it is, because they should be able to give input. They have to live here and they know what they like and they know what they don't like. And I think it's important that giving input to the residents in a community is very important. And yeah, so if no one else has any comments to make, we will move on along. The other thing that I have on here is I believe Dante sent me a message, an email. I'm not sure if you guys got it too. The McNair Compost upcoming event. There's an upcoming event. I believe it's sometime sometime October? I think it's late October. So he told me to mention it to the committee. I would hope that everyone else received the same If not, then I can have them forward. Khalid, do you know if it went out to everyone on this committee?
Not sure, but I will follow up. If not, we
Okay,
can
yeah.
share that out.
Right, so yeah, so then if not, then you can just send it out to everyone else. So that they can get a sense as to when this event is happening. We can move on to old business now. And I'm not sure if you guys have seen any rats in the area, but I have. I see them running all over. And I know we spoke about garbage cans that are, more secure, that will not, allow them to, get to the food and all these things that people just throw out on the street, even though the garbage cans are there. I've seen it quite often. I even see my neighbor who has all of the decorations in her front yard on Sterling here, cleaning and sweeping up Nostrand and Sterling Corner over there a few weeks ago. So, people need to, pay attention to the garbage cans. I know sometimes, you see some of them overflowing, but, if the one is overflowing, you look for one that's not overflowing to put your garbage. But it's like, things are just dumped and, it somebody else have to clean it up, I'm always picking up garbage. I'm always picking up little liquor bottles, I know people have habits, but I mean, come on, take it to your home, drop it in your recycle. You drop it in the tree guards and all these places, I mean, come on. So, those are some of the things that is happening out there. But the rats, I know that there is a program going on that is being enforced for our restaurants. And I know I've been, as I walk around and I see some of the restaurants with the carts for their garbage, sometimes it's not clean. There'll be stuff in there, but you have to also take care of the outside where someone may toss something and something may fall out. If you don't clean up after, the people that's doing that, the problem stays there. So, things like that needs to be enforced. So, I was going to reach out to Dante to find out, if anything can be done to, let people, the businesses know that, they need to, at least follow up to make sure that the areas are clean, and the developments, the people that are, doing the new developments and, ongoing development, that they are having these areas baited, because it's important, you're walking and you just see these big rats run out all over the place. I mean, it's a scary
Well,
thing.
I just want to add about the developments.
Yes.
In I have three like we have three huge developments near me, and two of them are union and one is not union, and the stark contrast between what is happening at those developments is immense. So if you all get a chance, I would recommend you have a look at those three. The one on Franklin.
Which one?
There's three. There's one on Franklin.
Right.
Behind, on behind Ebbets Field. That's a union job. There's the one on the corner of, it's Bedford, between Sullivan and Empire. That's non-union, and the disasters that are happening, that's where they're dumping concrete into the sewer. They're doing so many things there, that it's just, there's the hotel that's being built in Empire that's, nearing completion. They're like, on the edge, but and then there's the development on Rogers. So there's four big developments, and that's a huge development. But you know, the safety precautions that they take on the union jobs are better, you know,
Rogers,
and
I'm
they've got
sorry,
the rat
Rogers
boxes
and
out
what?
and
Rogers
stuff
and
like
where?
that. So just
Yeah,
have a look, you know, and
Rogers and where, baby? What?
oh, Rogers, it's where the Associated used to be. I'm sorry, it's on Nostrand. I mean,
It's on
Nostrand
that's
and
on
Oh,
Nostrand and
That's a
Sullivan.
hotel?
the hotel is going to be on. It's on
On-
Empire between Bedford and
And Rogers?
Rogers. It's where the funeral
Okay.
home used to be.
Okay, you
Yeah.
have,
Oh, okay.
That's going to be a big hotel. You know,
okay.
they're
I
going
was
as high as
wondering
they
about that
can,
one.
but you know, it
Yeah,
can't be
'cause-
permanent housing. It's not zoned for permanent housing there.
Right.
You know, it's just the zoning is interesting for all these places as well, you know, but keeping them low, as working to keep them like lower in size helps. You know, it seems like it helps with the environmental issues because they're not producing as much sewage and all of that, you know, flooding and problems that come with that. Like I'm for development, but I want affordable. And then we've also got the Major
Yes.
Owens where there was a shooting, you know, today.
What?
Where?
What?
At Major Owens, there were 2 people were shot in the new
Again?
housing, the
In the
luxury housing.
facility?
What?
In the facility or,
In the building, yes, in the apartments.
oh, in the apartments? Oh, my God.
Oh, but you know, and on the playing field, a couple of weeks ago, they were playing basketball. One guy left, went and got his gun and came back and shot right
Oh,
in
my
the building.
God.
Yes.
Oh, that was
But
about a
they
month
do
ago.
have a security system in place. I don't understand what's going on.
They have a doorman. I don't know what
Yeah.
happened.
Wow.
Which
It did
location
happen
that happened?
because my students play basketball over there.
Yeah, there's a lot
Yes.
of kids that go there.
Yeah.
A lot.
We had to pull that back.
Wow. Oh, my God,
Excuse me,
I'm
the
surprised.
shooting at Major Owens, it was at Major Owens?
It wasn't at the sports center. It was at the apartments.
Oh, it was at the apartment buildings. Yeah.
There's the
Oh,
new apartments there. It was on there's several news stories about it. It was on the 2nd floor.
oh,
It
my
was like
God.
somebody shot 2 people and then got away. There's been
Wow.
helicopters all day long and cops
Wow.
racing around. It's very stressful.
Oh, my God.
Wow. Terry, thank you for that bad news. I did not know.
Yeah, the
I have-
story is luxury housing shooting. 2
I have to
people,
find out about that.
a
Me
man and a
too.
woman.
At 1101 President Street, a double shooting?
Yes,
That's the one you're referring to?
Yes,
yes.
Okay.
that's what she said.
It's the
Yeah.
new apartments that are attached to Medgar Evers.
Yeah. On,
Not
yeah.
Medgar Evers, I'm sorry, Major
On,
Owens.
Major Owens, yeah. Wow. Mr. Herbert, you have your hand up?
First of all, I'm sorry to hear about that incident.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes,
It
that's
really
sad.
shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Sad news, sad news.
Yes, it is.
So I just want to follow up on what Tara said. I mean, if there's a construction outfit out there where workers are working unsafely, I would strongly suggest to contact OSHA.
Yeah.
Well, the fire department came and shut down the site because the sidewalk was collapsing. There's a big crack. Like, you wouldn't believe it. It's supposed to be shut down, but they keep working and they're getting fines on top of fines on top of fines. And, you know, I looked at the, I guess it's the BIS site to see what the violation was. And there's an outstanding violation, but they just keep going. It's like, I try not to go by there because it's so, and it's on my way to the park where I walk the dog. So I try to walk,
Mm,
you know, around because it's dangerous, you know, the sidewalk, it's like falling in. A lot of people have complained, but some complaints are ignored and some complaints, like the fire department came, they put up tape. This was in June, I think. They put up tape, they said that it wasn't properly supervised, they needed to do something, but I mean, nothing was done. That's, you could still see like on their BIS site,
Mm,
like an order. It just, you know, I don't know if this is
Stop
for
work order.
environmental protection, but, and then, you know, because of the way they're digging, it's like, it gets filled with water. And then they do, and then when they do put cement in, the cement trucks dump, and you could see the cement built up inside of the
drain,
drain, like
the
a lot
drain.
of cement in there.
So that's their washout area, what they're trying to do, and that's not supposed to happen. It's supposed to be contained. It's not supposed to go into the waterways. So I would say
They do it
again,
every time.
and
I
that's,
told that conservationist woman, I
so
need
maybe,
to like follow
yeah,
up.
environmental conservation.
call the
Yeah.
DEC again, call the state, because if they continue to pollute the stormwater system, they can receive heavy fines and be shut down. And also, I would strongly suggest to contact OSHA if you see any type of violations like that, with regards to working around,
Yeah,
you know, deep pools of water, height restriction. If you work anything above 4 feet, you're supposed to be tethered, supposed to be fall protection.
yes.
Anything above 4 feet, you know, lifting 50 pounds. I'm sure they're lifting more than that. Crane
Oh my God.
operations.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
would strongly
you wouldn't
suggest-
believe what's happening over there. It's like, I'd be calling every day.
and that's fine. And that's
And that's
great.
fine.
That's
Because
not-
you
I'm
see
not- I
something
can't-
happening.
It takes too long, but I've called, you know, so.
Mhm.
mm,
You want me to call?
But
I'll
you
call.
need to, yeah,
Sure,
and you
I would
also
love you to
need
go over there and have
refer
a
it to the
look,
community
just so
board.
I could have some.
I would come over there, but right now I'm out of town. I'm not
Okay,
in New York
well,
right now.
you know, when you
Okay,
get a chance,
so-
I'm sure it's not going
No
anywhere.
problem.
I
No
think
problem.
we're
I'll be
frozen
back.
or something. Are we frozen?
I think we are. I think Debbie's frozen.
Khalid? Oh,
Yes.
Oh, everybody's unfrozen.
so we were
now.
frozen
Okay.
for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, when I'm back, I'll reach out to you and I'll take a ride by so I can see. what-
Okay. Thank
Okay,
you. And that information should be also provided to the community board. So that
Yes,
they can
yes,
follow up. Yes.
yes.
You know, we need to cover all bases. Any other
Yeah, Debbie,
information?
you know, in regards to the rats, there we
Yes.
have a new garbage pail that we have to put out that would only have food stuff in it. And it's the brown.
Yeah, for the compost. Yeah.
Yeah, the brown, yes.
Yeah, the compost. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, everyone should have
yeah, we
those,
bought,
one of those. Yeah.
right, so we have.
Okay, yeah,
We
but for
have
the, yeah, but the, major, avenues and places like that, I
Right.
mentioned a while ago that in Manhattan, they have the big barrel, step on, cans, for the recycle and for the garbage. So I mentioned that a while back, but, I'm not sure what, came about that. It would be good because the ones that they put there, some of them you see that they're open, so I don't know if people are opening them up and digging in them for whatever reason. And they're
bottles.
left open, so yeah. But I think the step on cans, would be something that, you step on and do what you have to do. And,
Let
I
it
don't know.
close.
I don't know if it has to do with, but I'll follow up again with Dante to find out, if we can get some of those for the major areas with the businesses, to place them in certain locations. Yeah. And under old business, the final thing that we have on there was community walkthrough, cleanup, park events. I'm not sure what's on people's radar. I know there's a lot going on around us in the world. And I don't, some people, are very afraid to do certain things, and I'm not
To
gonna
walk
push
around.
anybody. Yeah, but what I do, as I say, when I pass, when I walk around, I take pictures and I send it to the community board. So that's another way of getting, information to the board office. If people don't feel safe, walking around in the community and doing, things like that. But, that's what I do. I mean, other, someone else may have a different, you know, way in which they want to, do,
Well,
the,
I think, Debbie, in our neighborhood now,
yes,
there's an extra watch
yes, there is.
because of our Jewish brothers,
Yes,
next to
yes, and I
synagogues and
noticed,
stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah,
So it's kind of like a reservational kind of thing where
right.
people feel like it's not safe to just walk around.
Right, and I totally agree because, with all, you never know what's going on, and,
Yeah, here we go, 2 shootings.
yeah, I
Three
don't, right,
people-
that I don't even, I didn't even hear about.
Yeah, and it
So,
happened today. I didn't know it either.
yeah. So I would say, the people, if you see something and,
Say something. There you go.
say something, take a picture, document it and send it to the board office. I mean, it's just trying to get, things, attention to things that are happening in the community that, ordinarily, someone in the community board office may not, see. So while we're walking around doing our, chores or whatever, and we see something, take a picture, whether it's across street or whatever, you have to add to that and say, I was walking, in a certain area today and I noticed this. Can you follow up on that? So all those things are helpful. And I think a little goes a long way. I mean, we are just a few, and there's a lot of other people out there that I'm sure are doing other things, and so I'm grateful for what I can do, and I do it on behalf of my community and the people
Yes.
that I live with. It's important, that more so than now than ever, to look out for each other. I mean, am I my brothers, am I my sister's keeper? Yeah. And that's how I look at life, at the end of the day, we have to save the world that we live in. Nobody else can do that for us.
Yeah,
Like,
nobody's coming to save it for us.
yeah. So that's all I have to say. And I thank you guys. I think that the little group that we have here, we always have a good discussion, and I just hope that we can put
And
our
Debbie, I think we did,
information out there. Yes, go ahead.
Debbie, I think we did a great job in finally getting those trees trimmed.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, I could see my neighbor next door now. It took
And it's
forever.
important with all the craziness going on. You don't want all these bushes in front of your house.
I'm telling you, but I want to say, thanks to the environmental, because we made so much think about it. We made
Yes.
phone calls, and now I could see up the block, across the street, and down the block,
And that's a good thing,
which
because
is really good.
it is, because
Even where the leaves are concerned now in
yes,
the fall and then the winter. We
yes,
just need, where we have a drain in front of my house, when it rains,
yes,
we literally go out and sweep the garbage off of it,
right,
because it is for the water to go down, but it can't, because the leaves and all
because
the
of the
garbage
leaves,
coming
yeah,
down.
yeah.
So we
I
have
do,
to go out and sweep it.
yes,
So
I do
now
the
that the
same
leaves
here,
have
yeah.
been trimmed, we're gonna see what happened.
Yeah, because I do the same, myself and a few people on the block, we do the same thing
Yes.
as well, try to keep, the water flowing, not sitting in one area. Yeah, so,
And our garbage pails on the corners are looking better.
yes,
The garbage
I-
pails on we do these things and we talk about it and we put it out there to get it done. But when it's done, we kind of forget to give ourselves an applaud.
yeah,
That at least, we got that done. Thanks
Yeah.
to Tara and yourself and so many other people. We don't applaud ourselves enough
yes,
for the
yes, I
things that-
totally agree, yeah,
that
Yeah.
that we get done.
yes, so,
We really don't applaud ourselves enough.
yes, I totally agree.
Yes.
And does anyone else have any additional comments or, updates, information that they would like to pass on before we adjourn the meeting?
I had a question.
Go ahead, Coriat. We'll take your question before we adjourn.
I just wanted to know if we needed a social media person for the Instagram and if that was something that is possible, because that's something I could help with.
Okay, so what I would do, I would reach out to the community board
Okay.
and, speak to Dante, who
Okay.
is the district manager.
Okay.
And, yeah, I'm sure that, they more than likely,
Okay.
be,
Cool.
grateful,
Okay.
to have you, assist with that
Well, just
aspect.
because we're talking about getting more feedback from, community members, and that's something that I did in my research that I did in another, for community that I did for an internship. So it is a good
Okay.
way that you can get feedback from people. So that's why I was asking.
Okay, so do you have any ideas that you,
Yeah, you can do right now it's all the same post over and over again that's announcing the meetings. And I think that having posted explain what's going on and when they're happening
yes,
helpful. And then when there's people who know there's people behind this, so you could post yourself, Mr. Herbert, Tara, the people who are here often, then
Yes.
people know who's here and they have things about yourself. That just builds more, it would just make people more likely to come to the meetings if they know who's behind it and what they consist of. And then we could also do polls and ask about things that we talk about during these meetings.
okay, so would you want to draft up something? Some plan or something
Okay.
so that we have a sense as to what we are,
Yes.
okay?
Proposal.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then we can take it from there.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, so,
So
I'm gonna
Debbie,
ask, I'm
you
gonna
know-
ask Khalid to add you to the, email, for, the, environmental protection so that you have an idea as to when the next meeting is. I know that this month, all of the meetings were pushed back because our meeting is usually first Thursday of the month.
Yes,
Right.
I thought
But
I
due
missed
to-
it already.
I'm sorry?
That's why I thought I had missed it, and then I saw that you guys
Yeah,
were live on-
no, because of the Jewish holidays, everything was
Okay.
pushed back.
Okay.
So I'm glad that you were able to join us. Yeah. Okay, so
Debbie-
yeah, so you can do that and then we can maybe follow up with the next meeting and, kind of
Okay.
iron things out.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, so Khalid?
Debbie, what,
Yeah,
So yeah, if you can add Coriat to
Okay.
the environmental
Corey, yeah. Do you have our board email address?
If it's on the website, I probably have it on a tab somewhere.
Okay, just send us an email and we'll add you to the newsletter.
Okay.
okay, thank you so much.
Debbie?
Bishop, you had something to say?
Yeah, I was saying, Debbie, with the proposal, I
Yes,
think this is where you can also post what we have gotten done,
Mm-hmm.
some of the accomplishments that we have,
mhm,
and also show Tara and my gentleman that is away, but will be coming back to walk around. We can put those things up so people know also what we're doing.
Yes.
oh, Mr. Herbert,
Mr.
yeah,
Herbert,
he's always out of town. I don't
Yeah.
know what his secret is, but I need to find out what it is.
You can know the secret. I need to know where the money comes
I
from.
guess we need to retire.
I need to know where the money comes from. The secret you can have. I want the money because I want to
Okay.
travel and then call in.
Okay.
But it's good to let the community know what we're
Yes.
doing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Okay,
he's
so-
done 90 tickets already.
Yeah.
This should be
95, 95, right?
95.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that should be known. That
Yeah.
should be known. I think
Okay,
it should be.
So what you guys can do is compile all of the things that you have, done. And then
Right.
maybe we can just pass the information on to Koryat.
That sounds good to me.
Okay. So yeah. So I will do my part. And then I guess one else can do the same, and then we can just share that information with you.
I know on Wednesday, our students will be going to the park.
Oh.
I think the Botanic Gardens.
Yes.
To look at what effects have happened with the rainstorm that we had.
Okay,
You
so
know?
can you get, so
I'm-
if you can get some information, that would be
I
helpful.
will.
Yeah, okay, so
I-
that's good.
And that's something we can post, the students can say what they see, what they did,
Absolutely.
and
Yeah,
then we can post it with Tara,
Okay,
the
good.
young lady.
yeah, that's good. Sounds good. All
I
right,
couldn't
so,
I couldn't find the email on the website. Oh, I just found it. Okay, sorry.
okay,
EK09-1@cb.nyc.gov.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank
okay.
you.
So thank you, Koryat. And so if there's no further information, I think we've had a good discussion tonight. I will make a motion to adjourn this meeting at 8:40 p.m.
Second, the motion to adjourn.
Thank you. And I want to say, have a good night, everyone.
You
And
too,
again,
Debbie.
thank you. Be
Fine.
safe and be
Good
well.
night, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay, Tara,
Good
be
night.
careful